Okay. On a guide, 0 to 4,000 SR. Thank goodness it's 0 SR, because if it had been 5 to 4,000 SR, that would have been problematic, because my on it is actually 3 SR. So thank you for including me, Mr. Hypocritical Midget. Okay, skip, on a biotic rifle. If you guys don't know, I generally try and skim these pretty fast. If you guys have any points in particular you want me to go in more depth on, I will do so. But because there is so much information, I can't go super thorough on everything. And then by the end, we'll tell you if it's beefed, really good, if it's tolerable, pretty decent, or scuffed, really bad. So I even have a nice little animation to go along with it. Okay, thank you. Okay, don't care, whatever. Scope shots leave a tracer behind, revealing where you last shot from, revealing your position. So makes you vulnerable, fingers kind of okay. Good to know. That's good. Shots will pass through full health eyes, applying no effect. Okay, again, just knowledge. This is more interesting than that. That's not super. I guess, fine. Projectile size is bigger when shooting allies. Nice. Aim assist for console. Sure. You can cancel the reloading by using melee after the magazine is loaded to the rifle. I mean, I guess you can include this, but like, why do you need to know that? I mean, if you want to go watch ML7 animation cancels with Ana, sure, include that. But like, this has never won a team fight in the history of Overwatch. Okay, let's put it that way. It's quick coaching. When holding on ADS, the white line is quickly zooming. Right? You can shoot a few frames. Okay, this is helpful. Nice, that's good. Why a quickscope? All right. As the shot fired is hit scan, you don't need to predict the movement of your teammate. This is especially useful when you're at a range dueling the opposing DPS, as you can quickly zoom in, click, zoom out onto a small teammate such as Genji midair. This is also useful if you or the ally who turns a corner, which you can quickly track the movement and quickscope how to predict the movement with a projectile. Okay, so getting value of the hit scan as quickly as you can. Quick scoping, this is the important point, minimizes how long you're spent with the movement ability in the discrete field of view. So basically, it allows you to get the hit scan shot without having to scope in, shoot the shot, which obviously makes you easier to hit and reduces your scouting capability, right? It leaves you more vulnerable, okay? Maximize the time taken to zoom in, zoom out, increases your actions per minute. I don't know what this means. I know what APM means, but I don't know what maximizing the time taken to zoom in then zoom out. Don't you want to minimize that? I don't understand this. Okay. Obviously, support, your job is to prioritize healing over damaging. I mean, I guess so, sure. Your job is to try and keep your team alive, and that's either through killing enemies or healing your team. Generally, your healing output is way more better. Like, it's better to heal your Reinhardt than it is to shoot enemy Reinhardt shield. If both are, the enemy Reinhardt shield is full and your Reinhardt is half, then you should be healing your Reinhardt. But if there's a Genji that's one shot and your Mercy is like almost full HP, you should be killing the Genji, not healing your Mercy. Like, that's the constant debate that's happening as on Ana. Is it more helpful for my team to get this kill here or to pressure this pharmacy out of the sky? Or is it better to shoot a pharmacy that's flying directly over your Reinhardt or to heal your Reinhardt who's 450 HP? Definitely more value to shoot the pharmacy. Definitely. But there's a lot more situations where it's more gray area, and that's where you kind of have to generally lean towards healing. But yeah, it's way better to shoot the Pharah, because if you shoot the Pharah, she doesn't shoot your Rein, and then your Rein doesn't need damage, or doesn't take damage. Sometimes it's not even about getting the kills; it's about actually threatening the kills. That like helps your team out. But the word pressure is a word I'm going to use a lot, and it's not an abstract term. It's just scaring people, pressuring them. That's it. Principle of healing and dealing damage is very similar to more Batiste, but at range, since it's on as a scope, finding gaps to deal damage can be often more difficult with problems such as tunnel vision arising. I mean, I guess so. Especially below, I'm in position for DPS swap can be scattered, even to the extent where they can 3-shot a fire so high in the air. Okay, I mean, I don't like these little tidbits. This might be true, but this doesn't really help you play on it. Oh, guys, I'm below plat, or I'm gold, so I could be looking to kill more DPS because they're flying in the air. Like, this again, is this wrong? No. Is this inaccurate? No. Is this even worded confusingly? No. But why include it in an Ana guide? Why are you polluting your guide with useless information? It's like, there's way, it's like, remember, if there is the world's greatest textbook about learning how to structure your time better, but it is 50% filled with convoluted explanations and useless information, you're literally hurting the good information, right? If I have really good advice, but I take you 25 minutes to get there, I'm actually reducing the quality of the advice I'm giving you because you're not paying attention. You're zoning out. So simplicity is equally important as making sure that the information is correct. So this right here, all this is literally hurting the value of your guide, this kind of stuff. No. Dealing damage also depends on the other support you're paired with. For example, paired with Moira. Okay, that's good. That's good to know. Yeah, if you've got like a Moira, obviously, you know, you need to get more value out of your kit, more out of your damage. Afterwards, to just end, examine to find offing will be detrimental things. Probably didn't need to definite bullet point these two, but I don't want to pick on it too much. A good mixture of both playstyles would be on a map where bat may be aggressive. You know, okay, sure. All right. Pros and cons of scoping in. No movement prediction at all. Sure. Unless you feel confident enough with honest projectiles, because you should almost always be trying to scope in more likely into shots. I mean, maybe. Hit scan shots are more faster than projectile shots. Sure. Okay, sure. Cons. Easier to be one shot. It's easier for them to okay. Flanker, sure. It's easier for them to clip you. Nice. Reduce field immediately to tunnel vision. Yep. Okay, sure. Yep. You should never stay scripted for more than 4 to 5 shots. I would say never. I wouldn't say never. I would say avoid. Avoid. Because sometimes there's circumstances where you might need to, but you want to avoid it. Although he does say unless, and then he gives some good examples of when. Okay. So far, so good. Not a terrible guide. Pretty good guide so far. I'm ironically wasting my time. I'm trying, chat. I'm like, I feel my eyeballs bleeding right now. Okay, again. Okay, like cast. Why are you including cast time into the sleep dart? And why do I care about projectile speed of a sleep? Why do I care? Okay. The one-shot combo. Okay, yeah, I remember I commented on this. I forgot. Yeah, there's no one-shot combo. This is a waste. Yeah, you cannot one-shot anybody anymore. You can wait till the end of the sleep dart, but it doesn't matter. They wake up instantly. You still should be shoot nading and then try and land the next shot most of the time. There are exceptions to that rule, but there's no one-shot combo, so this is misleading and bad. Instead of saying using your sleep dart for flankers. You need to briefly provide some context of the 3 main types of abilities that you can use to gain net value in Overwatch. Non-cooldown abilities. Cooldown abilities. Ultimates, okay? You want to be using your non-cooldown abilities to force out cooldown abilities to make your abilities force ultimates first, which you can react and practically use your ultimates like Nobody understands this. I understand this, but nobody of value understands this. Get that subtle self-dig. Either way, way too complicated way of explaining things. Now, why is he explaining this? But you want to use your cooldown second. No, you don't. No, you don't. But please stop inserting this false information into this Overwatch guide. You want to be using your cooldowns to get the most value. Now, certain cooldowns are good to use early, certain are better, and a lot of it's just contextual. So what is the point here? Proactively use your NC abilities, so I guess your gun. You're going to be holding onto your sleep dart second because it is a threat to the enemy. Okay. He just spat out 1, 2, let's just say 3, 4, 5, 6 paragraphs of misinformation and convoluted nonsense to say that you don't want to be sleep darting enemy flankers that are super far away that aren't threatening you. Chat, you ready for this one? As Ana, when you're using your sleep dart against dive teams, try and not use your sleep dart at distances that are extremely far away, because not only is it more likely that you miss your cooldown at that distance, but if you waste it in that circumstance, the dive is more likely to punish you immediately once you've used it. Instead, to hold the cooldown until the enemy team has actually threatened you, and then you may use the cooldown against them. One paragraph. And I just explained why you don't fish for sleep darts across the map against dive teams when they're an immediate dive threat. We don't have to talk about NC abilities or why you need to be second, all that trash. Just don't waste cooldowns when there's a very low percentage chance of hitting them, and then they're going to immediately punish you for not having it. Fundamentally. Same can be said for Biotic Nade, how the playmaking potential skill for the nade is higher than Super much more. I mean, yeah, same can be said for Biotic. Anyway, I don't like that part at all. Just don't waste your sleep dart if you're not going to land it when the enemy team has dive, and they're going to punish you for not having sleep. I don't know. That last section kind of made me irritated. This was actively detrimental. Because this is going to get a bunch of Ana players thinking about how I can never use Sleep Dart until like the enemy team has used cooldowns and a bunch of goofy stuff like that. Like, what if you have a Tracer diving you and you're 5 HP? Do you just wait for the Tracer to use recall and die? Like, obviously, like, obviously, I'm sure common sense says that's the exception, but still, like, okay. Okay, sure. Okay. Guys, when Genji dash you, nade floor. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 paragraphs to say Genji dash you, nade floor. Okay. This is avoid nading yourself whenever you can. Sure. Cast time. Again, why do I care about cast time of nanoboosts? Why? What possible second world, third world country am I living in where that doesn't make any sense? What possible reason I would? I'm struggling, chat. My brain is leaking out of my ears. Why would I need to know the cast time of nanoboost? There you go. Okay, there's a Google spreadsheet and when to nano aggressively. I'll take his word for it that it's accurate, or her word for it. A validation nano. Is too scared to push past choke. Okay, sure. Okay, can nano somebody to encourage them to push. Initiating the team fight. Sure. Applying reverting pressure. I mean, I guess so. This feels like this could be explained a little bit simpler, but I get the concept. That's fine. Sure. Okay, this nano thing was mostly fine. I think maybe some concepts on like reminder, hey guys, make sure that you think about how you want to use your nano. Like if you don't have a good nano target to go in aggressively, then think about, okay, would I use it defensively? If so, who could I use it on? Is there any ultimates I need to counter with my nano? Like get the players, people thinking about that, because that's more important than understanding all the nitty gritty micro things. Like I would rather have an Ana think that nanoing a Sigma aggressively is a good plan than an Ana that knows that nanoing Sigma aggressively is not a good plan, but doesn't have a plan at all. If that makes any sense. It's better to have a a good plan with what you want to do with your ultimate, or a bad plan to do with your ultimate, than not have a plan at all. Okay. Health pack, route of retreat, cover. Sure. Ana, high ground, very important, sure. Off angles, 2-shot combo, sure. I would emphasize that off angles can be a little bit more risky against enemy dive threats. So something to look out for. Something that's not as necessary when the enemy team is running dive, but is more important when the enemy team is not running dive. It holds true with anything of elusive at the same time when you can rotate is even less than you're talking about to rotate the same but not by 1-1. Okay, this is just, I don't understand. I know what he's saying, but this is just, nobody's going to understand this unless they've actually been involved in pro play for a while. Like, please don't say that. Okay, paragraph 1, paragraph 2. The honest will be as part of, paragraph 3, paragraph 4. Okay. Mid-fight rotations can allow you to take a position so that you can easier land value out of your cooldowns and your gun. Mid-fight rotations are especially important when you notice that the enemy team is pushing either to your left or to your right around the map, and you need to adjust your positioning accordingly. Make sure that your team isn't going to need your healing when you are in the middle of a rotation, as you might not be able to see your team while you're moving. Okay? There's your 1 paragraph instead of 5. Okay? Or 6 or 5. Simple CC louts. Okay, fine. Okay, he gives some case study on what are good spots to hold. I'm not going to go over that, but yeah. On a backline synergies. Okay, this is the juicy stuff, and then we're almost done, chat. Sorry, this is a little bit more sleeper than I thought it would be. On a Moira, high amount of healing today, however you want to play extremely aggressive on high ground, so you more heal the majority of the team. Sure. You want to be asking whether you can output the team, playing this with more you should get starting off with Mana. Sure. On a Moira, not a great combo. If you're not like actively landing a bunch of nades and sleeps and killing stuff and getting value of your nano, it's kind of doo-doo because your healing is just over too much. You have too much healing. On a Lucio, optimize for brawl, optimize Ryan, Lucio, if you have a low awareness. I mean, what? I mean, if you were a bad Ana, your DPS might have lack of healing. I guess so, but you can say the same about same thing with Ana Zen to a lesser extent, Ana Moira as well, Ana Bap too. So I don't know. Seems kind of pointless to include. Sure. Lack of peeling. If your Mercy is unaware, yeah. Ana Mercy is actually pretty good at peeling if your Mercy is good though. Yep. Well, play close to each other. Okay, so you don't want to play on top of each other though, because if the enemy team is running any sort of dive or anything that can shut you guys down, they can shut you down with a single shield, right? Or they can, a single Winston dive or a Tracer dive or a Genji dive can like shut both of you guys down. So you want to play within distance to help each other, but not on top of each other. But overall, yeah. On a BAP, what the heck are you doing?
She's starving.
Oh. Tell your BAP to be considered landed lack of defensible and lack of skill. Okay, this is fine. On a BAP is alright. On a Brig, most likely Brig's strong and spare. I would probably agree with that, at least in rank.
I have to go.
Did I just imagine that? Like, okay. Sure. Okay. Let's see what he has some edits. Unscoped shots. Okay, just don't care about this. So does someone sum up my icicles? Yeah, you should. What? Who said that? Somebody in chat and some of the comments said, someone just, no, it's not. It's not. Don't do this. Don't go, oh, I've practiced a lot of Mei, so I'm better on it. No, just practice Ana. Please. Okay, so he says the extended doesn't have extended animation, but that needs to be changed then. That's serious misinformation. Nanoistic, if friendly gets hooked by Hog, will save their life. I guess so. I don't like the nano. He's saying about like, well, you don't want to use an ultimate to counter a cooldown. Well, sometimes you just have to win the fight. That's a bad argument. You shouldn't use nano boost to counter hog hook most of the time because generally the person will get killed anyway. It has nothing to do with, oh, I have this specific structure about ultimates should never be used to counter cooldowns. I mean, what are you saying? Like, are you saying that you shouldn't use flux because they're just going to counter it with lamp? Like, is that actually? Yeah, I don't agree with that mindset at all. Playing close to each other, maybe judgmental, and going against coordinated dive comp. Okay, so yeah, he does talk about that at the end. But again, you should edit that instead of adding an edit at the end. Make your information better. Don't add a disclaimer at the end. I'll give it a tolerable. Again, upper end of tolerable. I'm being a little nitpicky, but I'm being nitpicky not because there was a lot of misinformation here, but because he was very, very slow to get to the point, and there was a lot of filler. Unnecessary filler that could have made this guide a lot better. So constructive criticism if he ever ends up watching this, and most importantly for you guys watching this, knowing if you're ever looking to read guides like this, try and find what the base concept is. Don't go through all the bull crap because it ruins the value of stuff.